a New Year's Day. A world in white gets underway.
Dobar dan.
So that's you.
That's me, Antoni Godfri.
You are the new ambassador,
That's
right?
me.
Of
Very nice to
United
meet you.
States of America in my country.
That's right.
Right.
Antoni Godfri.
Hello,
This is
Mira
my wife.
Polak. Hello, I'm Anne. Mira Polak, and you are
I'm
you are a
Jamie.
son.
Yeah.
You have a sister or brother?
We do. I have a sister and a brother.
Good. He's the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
Thank you very much that you have me at your home.
You're very welcome. And I know this isn't the first time you've been here.
No, I think you are my 11th ambassador.
Very well could be.
We'll be with you again.
When they told you are coming to Belgrade, can you recall that day exactly what happens? Somebody calls you on the phone and they say, come in, or what?
I got an email first that I had to call the Director General of the Foreign Service. And when I had the conversation with her, she was able to tell me that I had been selected. It's a long process, so she warned me that it was just the beginning of a long process, but I was very happy to hear it.
Did you have a big competition? What do you think?
I don't know. That's one of the few secrets that the State Department can still keep, I think.
You know why? Because I think the selection, when somebody is sending someone for an ambassador to Serbia, definitely that person has to know the region. And when I saw your CV, I realized that you know everything.
Oh, I don't know if I know everything. I can tell you that I was very happy. I can't think of a better place to be posted. We're really enjoying our first couple of months. It has been thrilling. We've made a lot of good friends. We've gotten such a warm greeting, especially from the people of Belgrade, where we live.
You know what is for me interesting? That the moment when you arrived, doesn't matter what you read and what they have been teaching you, or instructions and books and this and that, you jumped on the street and you wanted to have this first impression of people, the first impression. On that, nobody can teach you, nobody can give you advice. This is something what you feel or you don't feel. What was your first feeling? But now, don't be a diplomat. Tell me honestly, what did you get?
Well, we arrived and there was a lot of attention on us. And I think we were all a little bit surprised by how much attention there was to our arrival. But the impression that I got of the city of Belgrade that was something that I didn't expect is that it's pretty hip. It's very happening. It's vibrant. There's a lot of energy in the city.
When you heard that your husband is coming to Serbia, tell me how many posts you changed with your husband?
Let me see. Well, our first overseas posting together, because we met when he was posted to Dublin, Ireland, which is where I'm from, was Croatia. So I was very happy to be coming back to the region. So Croatia, Armenia, the United States, Turkey, Moscow, and the United States again. So we've hopped around the world a little bit together, probably about 7 different moves. I was pretty happy to be coming to Serbia, back to the region here, back to Europe, of course, because it's closer to my family, easier for me to get home. And I was very excited to be coming to Belgrade, as a European. I'm very familiar with Belgrade as the former capital of Yugoslavia. So I knew that as a city, it was a very, I knew that it is a very vibrant city, and I was very happy to be coming here and exploring its location on the Danube, getting to know the people as well.
And even if the weather changes on a dime, we always stand together, call me anytime.
For you, it's very important where the parents are going, right?
Yeah.
Imagine to go somewhere and to be locked in and you are not allowed to go on the street and there are so many restrictions. Tell me, how different is what you have been told, what you have been reading from what you saw? What, from your point of view?
That's a good question. Well, coming to this region, like I had an idea of what it might be like, thinking about like my previous posts, like in Croatia, in Moscow, thinking of like what the region is like. I know Moscow and Belgrade are very far, but but coming here, it was kind of to my expectations, but in different ways, it was like way newer and way, like my dad has been saying, way happening. Yeah.
So you came here for a school competition though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we were in Moscow, we were in an international school, and the competition between the international schools for debate, for Knowledge Bowl, they take place in different schools around Europe. And Jamie was the first of us to come here recently. I haven't been here in more than 25 years, but yeah, you had a great time here, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I came here about 2 years ago for a Knowledge Bowl competition at the International School of Belgrade. And so I was only here for 3 days, but like I was able to get a good sense of the city, and then coming back is always nice.
You remembered a lot of the landmarks as I was driving around with you on that first day. I kept pointing things out to him, like there's the bridge and there's this and there's that. He said, oh yeah, I remember that. You were remembering a lot of the big landmarks from your
right.
previous visit, which was about, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I used to think maybe you love me. Now, baby, I'm sure.
You mentioned that you have been here before.
Oh, I was here as a part of an election monitoring mission with OSCE.
When?
So I'm trying to remember the exact date. I think it was actually 1997, somewhere around there. So I was in Belgrade, I went to Novi Sad, I went to Subotica briefly, and then I went to Sombor, where Nikola Jokic is from.
Tell me one thing. Is there any difference from your first feeling when you saw now and then?
Oh,
Just, is there anything which you notice as a difference, or is it still the same?
oh no, I don't recognize anything from the first time I was here. Everything seems brighter, everything seems busier, people seem more ready to engage. It's completely different.
Life just in waiting for you.
I try and just be a normal person. This is my life, this is where I live, and it's important for me to feel like I'm a citizen of the city of Belgrade. We've really made ourselves home here, and it's great. So I try and get out and look around. We love walking around the city as much as we can. I try not to be recognized. One of my bad habits is that I really enjoy street food, and this is a habit I've had for a long time. And Belgrade's a great city for street food. We really enjoy it. So is Novi Sad a great city for street food as well. So we had a lot of fun up there as well.
You are a New Yorker, right?
I grew up in New York, and a
Yes.
slice of pizza is what we really like to eat, and maybe a hero sandwich or something like that. But every city, I think, has its own personality, and one of the ways that every city expresses its personality is through what people like to eat. And that's one of the ways I think that I've been able to connect on a personal level with the people of Serbia. Is everybody likes to eat, and everybody likes to enjoy life. So maybe it's a good idea to try and connect at that level.
You know, you said that you got big attention when you came. You are not used to a big attention. It looks like you were not ready for such a kind of reaction, or what? What surprised you?
Well, what surprised me was that there would be people interested as much as they have been in me as a person. I guess I'm a little bit flattered by that, but it's hard to have a private life when you're so recognizable. I imagine you can understand that. People see you on the street and they recognize you as well.
How many times you have been an ambassador?
This is my very first posting as an ambassador, and I feel like I've won the lottery. This is the best place that I can imagine to be posted. It's wonderful.
The thing is that you have to get used, you know. Maybe we do not know the names of other ambassadors, but in this country, which is always hanging between East and West, we know the names definitely of two ambassadors. One is American ambassador and the other is Russian ambassador. And we know the name now of the European Union, right? The country is always in a kind of a permanent turbulent situation. So you can get used to the attention you are going to get. And to me, you look like a man who is professional and very modest. And the thing is that you are going to handle that. You think you can handle that? What do you think?
I think that I will be able to. I've got a lot of colleagues helping me, and I've got my family helping me. And really, I have to say that the welcome we've had from the people of Serbia has been very warm. I don't feel intimidated. And I've made some good friends already, and both of them, the Russian and the European ambassadors, are people that I know well now, and we've had a chance to get to know each other quite well.
Do you know what attracted me in your CV? Let me tell you.
I'm not sure.
I'll tell you. When I saw that you know the region, you know, for example, there is no, in the East, there is no any institute which is called, for example, Institute for the Western Strategic Studies. No. But on the West, you have institutes for Eastern Strategic Studies, right? Due to your training, you know very, very well what's happening in the East and how is the way of thinking, of decision making. You have been in Moscow. This is probably the biggest training somebody can have. You agree? It's a completely different way of thinking, of making decisions, of exploring. How do you see that?
Well, I am fortunate to have a deep background in Eastern Europe, but also in other places. We American diplomats like to joke that the biggest hardship post for American diplomats is actually Washington, D.C., because it's very difficult in terms of the bureaucracy. But I think Belgrade, although of course it is in the eastern part of Central Europe, Belgrade looks to the west as well as to the east. And it's my hope that Belgrade and all of Serbia will look more to the west as time goes on. Certainly that's where Serbia's biggest business interests are. And I know that the government of Serbia seeks to improve the economy, and in my understanding, the way to improve the economy is to make even stronger those economic relations that are productive for Serbia. And I would say that those are most likely to be with Europe. But there are centers for Western studies in the East, and in fact, I hope next month to be celebrating a new partnership between Belgrade University's American Studies Department and the Ohio State University. So that's a partnership we're working to develop, and I think we'll have something to announce pretty soon.
My university is called the College of William and Mary. It's in Williamsburg, Virginia, and it's a really fancy research school. So they have a really hard emphasis on the natural sciences, like what I'm studying. I'm studying biology, and I hope to take that into my career, stay as a career researcher in the field of biology or marine science, and we'll see where that takes me.
How long have you been married?
We've been married more than 20 years now, but my wife is an educator, a professional educator. She's taught in 8 countries now, 8 countries. And I like to explain that being a teacher's husband is as much a part of my identity as being a diplomat's wife is to her identity. So that's something that's been very important to me all my life.
In fact, this is the way, maybe, where your wife, who is a teacher, can probably help when you have to deliver a sensitive message. Imagine, if you have a fantastic training of developing a kind of a thinking which is not always, very pleasant. Not only pleasant things are happening in diplomacy, then a teacher can help with it.
Well,
have you been thinking of that?
I
Maybe
don't know.
to ask her about something.
So we had a very difficult time when we were in Moscow. The relationship between the United States and the Russian Federation is not very positive. And some of the things that happened during our time in Moscow were very difficult for the embassy community, the community of the United States Embassy in Moscow, when suddenly 60 of our friends and colleagues were required to depart Moscow. Anne was there as part of the real support team who helped us manage this. It was so difficult for those people to suddenly leave their school, their homes, and to go back to the United States on very short notice. So there are a lot of things that we work together on with regard to my diplomatic life. But I'd suggest that I've also taken my turn helping her teaching life as well. So
After you mentioned that situation in the embassy, I'm very interested how those things are happening. If I don't go deep in what they say. They gather all the embassy and what they say. Listen, we have to leave in 24 hours. How this happens? We read in the newspaper, this and this happened and the diplomats, they have to leave. How? Can you recall? Because, journalists usually cannot have a kind of an insight of this operative part, how it looks like.
So it is, of course, very difficult. And it's most difficult for the families. I would say that the staff of Embassy Moscow took it with great courage and dignity, and that was very important. And to be frank, I would like to express my gratitude to the people at the Foreign Ministry of the Russian Federation who allowed us to depart with dignity. I'll never forget when we had to close our Consulate General in St. Petersburg. We were only given a very short time to depart the facility, and we had a very moving moment when we took down the flag from our Consulate General. And together as a community, we folded the flag and shared it and then left the building. But as I've been saying throughout my assignment here in Belgrade so far, I'm not looking back in my career, and I think it's important for people of Serbia not to look back constantly and look for justification or to be made right or even to right historical wrongs from the 15th century, but to look forward, to think about how people in Serbia can live more positive lives, to help build a society where everybody feels welcome, to build an economy where everyone shares in the prosperity, and where the young people of Serbia feel like this is a place that they want to stay and raise their families. These are things that I want to help Serbia achieve because it's in America's interest. America looks to help Serbia make progress on its goal of European integration, and that's very much the focus of my work here.
Your Excellency, are you going to help us with that?
I will do my best, and I'm very proud of the programs that the U.S. Embassy is already running. Through our Agency for International Development, we have helped Serbia advance on the list of places that are good to do business. We've helped the Ministry of Finance get off a Financial Action Task Force gray list. These are all things that are making it a more attractive place for foreign investment. So we're really proud of the work that we're doing. But there's more to do, and the work is for Serbia to do. It is not us to preach or to teach. We're here to support and help as much as we can.
I used to think maybe you love me, now baby I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door. Now every time I go to the mailbox, gotta hold myself down.
You are the wife of an ambassador, but you are in education. It would be very interesting for me to hear some of your, not rules, but how you do it, what you perceive in your job.
So I've been an educator for a very long time, more than 35 years now, actually. And I've taught in, as my husband said, more than 7 different countries. And I've taught children from age 4 up to age 12. And what I have seen all over the world, all of the countries that I've taught in, is that the most important thing in education is that children understand the value of education, that they understand the value of always being open to learning and always being open to new skills, and that education can actually change their lives. And I don't mean education as in learning to read, learning to write, learning math, learning geography, but just the whole fact of learning in any aspect of their lives can actually lift them up and change their lives no matter what their circumstances might be.
Are you going here in Serbia to help us with certain instructions or something?
I certainly hope to do that. Obviously, I've already visited a couple of the international schools here, and I've spoken with the teachers, and I've told them that I'd like to be of help at the schools. But I've also visited a couple of the shelters here, where the embassy already helps out with items that they've needed over the holidays. But I see places, I see areas in which I feel that I personally would like to get involved and would like to help these children with any aspect of their lives, any aspect of even helping with homework, helping them to learn English, helping them to learn life skills that may help lift them out of the situations that they might find themselves in. I'm not exactly sure yet how that might come about, but I feel that it is where I personally might find myself to be of value, would be in places like this, working with children, local children.
Was it easy with the mother who is a teacher? Was she controlling you?
Well, she kind of imparted her values of education to me. Like growing up with her as my mom, she was like always active in my education, like making sure I was, no, not like controlling at all though, just more making sure that I understood how important it was that I was like constantly striving to learn more and constantly striving to improve myself through education and showing that I can improve myself through education. So it was great having her as a mom throughout my education, and still now when I'm in college in the United States and she's living here in Belgrade, I still text her whenever I have like problems with school, and she always helps me, which is very nice to have.
Do you think that you are going to have your own style or something as an American ambassador here in Belgrade? What do you think? Are you thinking of maybe changing something or something?
So I think every ambassador has their own style, and I certainly have mine. And I think what I'd like to do is to communicate more directly with the people of Serbia. We always have the job where we have to communicate with the government of Serbia. That's the main reason I'm here, is to help communicate what my government would like to say to the government of Serbia. And that's of course one of the main goals. But I think we're trying to also communicate as human beings and as a family with the people of Serbia. And I think that we've made a good connection. And it's fun doing it too, because we're real people, as you can see. We even have a dog that steals the Christmas dessert. That happened yesterday, unfortunately. But we're enjoying being here in Serbia. We are connecting directly with the people of Serbia. And I'm just so proud of the work that the team at the embassy is doing. It's a lot of fun. Yes.
You know what?
What's that?
I like to sit with you like this, not an official interview. You know?
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
Because we know each other then better.
yes, I think that's right. Well, we've had an opportunity to get to some of the cities of Serbia so far. We've gotten to Novi Sad a couple of times. There is an important cultural exchange that we are working on with the people of Novi Sad. I got to Subotica. My wife and I had an opportunity to go to a lovely atelier, which is Atelier 61, which is in Novi Sad, where we were able to meet some artists and some craftswomen who are working on remarkable pieces of work. My wife is big into crafting, as many Irish women are. She's a knitter. She made this sweater, in fact, and she does an awful lot of.
She made that?
Yeah, she did. This is hers.
How long takes you?
Oh, it's difficult to tell because, I don't knit constantly all the time, but probably there's about 20 to 24 hours of work in something like
So
that.
what we really like to do is travel, and I'm the guy who drives, and she's the one who knits, so that works out okay for both of us. So I like to do the driving when we're traveling, and you can usually get a sweater done on a long trip. Yeah,
You want to tell me that you are driving and she's knitting?
I'm driving, she's knitting. Not in Belgrade, unfortunately.
No.
We-
Let me put it this way. You are driving
Yep.
and she's knitting.
Correct. That's the way we do it. That is the way we've been doing it for years now.
All is quiet, a New Year's Day. A world in white gets underway. I want to
So here on the piano is where we like to keep our family photos. This one here is my husband's father, who celebrates his 91st birthday next month. This is a family photo from when we lived in Turkey. This one was taken just near the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Another family picture from a couple of years before that in Croatia. This is our first marine ball photo here in Belgrade. So this was taken about 3 weeks after we got here. This is our wedding photo. This is the two of us cutting our wedding cake, which was made by my sister. And this last photo on the piano here, this is my dad and my brother, and my dad who just passed away this past June.
no matter